Like a lot of practicing Muslims, my faith is the most important thing in my life. It is the absolute driver of everything that I do.
A major coup is underway against Slippery Starmer. But the mainstream media isn't telling you the full truth of what's going on here, so I will. And you've got to trust me on this. Wes Streeting is a stalking horse. He will not end up being Prime Minister, even though I think he's a hard-left socialist. Ironically, he is considered too moderate amongst the Islamists in the Labour Party, who have one plan and one plan only, which is to install Shabana Mahmood, the current Home Secretary, to be the first Muslim Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This is an astonishing story, though, and here's how the news was broken. And you've got to be so fascinated by this. Broken in a coordinated manner by the mainstream media as the clock hit 10 p.m. last night.
Chaos in Downing Street as friends of the Prime Minister say he will face down any leadership challenge. We've heard extraordinary accusations from allies of Sir Keir Starmer that the Health Secretary is plotting a coup. Accusations Streeting's team deny. So what is going on?
It's emerged Sir Keir Starmer's allies are moving to protect the Prime Minister amid fears he's vulnerable to a leadership challenge in the wake of the budget. Number 10 is said to be in full bunker mode over growing speculation Health Secretary Wes Streeting or Shabana Mahmood could be planning to move against him, despite being thought to be amongst his closest cabinet allies. Mr Streeting has fiercely denied having designs on the top job in the past. Senior Downing Street aides are warning that any attempt to oust the Prime Minister would be a reckless move that could destabilise the Labour Party.
These are whispered chats away from the cameras, but they do matter. And if you have a feeling of déjà vu, me too, a Prime Minister under pressure, his own side getting jittery, feverish talk of plots, and then allies seeking to mount a defence. It happened under the Conservatives more than once. Here it is happening under Labour, and it has come about this time round because those who support Sir Keir Starmer are making it known that he will, as one put it to me, fight any attempt to topple him. In other words, they're saying he won't walk away from the job. There would be a contest if someone wanted to run against him.
Now, Wes Streeting was on the morning broadcast round this morning and had a whole load of cheesy cliches to pull out to his mainstream media friends. Watch.
No, and I think whoever's been briefing this has been watching too much Celebrity Traitors, and this is just about the worst attack on a faithful I've seen since Joe Marler was kicked out and banished in the final. I've definitely been watching too much Celebrity Traitors in Downing Street. I think they should swap it for Countryfile in future and calm down a bit. I'm a faithful. In fact, what you've seen from a silly number 10 source overnight is probably the worst attack on a faithful since Joe Marler was banished in the Traitors final. Totally self-defeating briefing, not least because it's not true. And I don't understand how anyone thinks it's helpful to the Prime Minister either to suggest he's fighting for his job at a time when, last time I saw him on Monday evening to talk about violence against women and girls and how we tackle it, he's fighting for the country and trying to turn it around.
I mean, I'm laughing because I just think this is ridiculous. No, the Prime Minister is not fighting for his job this morning. In fact, the last time I saw the Prime Minister on Monday evening with a small group of cabinet colleagues was to talk about how we're going to fight the scourge of violence against women and girls. So I think this is daft, to be honest. In fact, I think someone in Downing Street has been watching too much Celebrity Traitors, and this is just about the most appalling attack on a faithful I've seen.
No, I'm not going to even allow him to say it again. They all treat this as a laugh, right? I mean, the traitors line was then used when Slippery Starmer exited Downing Street to PMQs. Dan Wootton Outspoken is available as a podcast too. So to listen or watch us on the go, wherever you are, then please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And as a personal favour to me, please rate and review, as it really helps our independent show.
Is the Health Secretary a traitor or a faithful Prime Minister? Prime Minister, your MP is trying to get rid of you. Are there any traitors in number 10, Prime Minister? Good morning. Do you need a padlock on that door?
Oh, ho, 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 ho. It's just the country that's collapsing, you know. But again, as I say, Wes Streeting is being used strategically here as a stalking horse because those in Labour and Number 10 who want Starmer out, and trust me, it's most of them, know that Streeting's not the man to do it, and they want the Home Secretary in place. Now, the only MSM outlet that really went there was the Daily Telegraph. Let me take you through their reporting on this. They said Sir Keir's supporters have accused Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary, and Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, of being on leadership manoeuvres. And we saw that with one of Mahmood's chief supporters, Maurice Glassman, on Newsnight after the news broke.
Is this Home Secretary the right woman to address some of those issues?
For me, absolutely. I mean, she's the only one of really genuine quality of the whole lot, but she's got a job to do. She's got to stop the boat. She's got to sort out the prisons. So at the moment, I'm not in favour of any challenge to the Prime Minister and full support for Shabana Mahmood in the work she's doing.
Did you hear that? At the moment. At the moment. And then Maurice Glassman went on to attack Wes Streeting.
Wes Streeting is a very new Labour. I absolutely dispute, Nick, that he's the closest person to Keir Starmer. He's a Blairite apparatchik out the student union, so all they know is leadership battles and motions and things like this. It's of no relevance whatsoever.
Now, look, I know that lots of folk are going to be thinking, why on earth would they go for Shabana Mahmood? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the top bods in Labour believe that the biggest threat to their vote outside of Reform UK comes from the Islamist parties. The Green Party, under the tip whisperer, Zach Polanski, who's gone full-on Islamist, and your party, that Islamist mob which wants to take over Birmingham, the West Midlands and the country, led by Jeremy Corbyn and what's her name, Zara Sultana. So what's the way to get that Islamist vote back? It's through going for Shabana Mahmood, who, remember, and I'll show you the proof, has said that her Muslim faith drives everything.
Islam, my own religion, like a lot of practicing Muslims, my faith is the most important thing in my life. It is the absolute driver of everything that I do. I feel a very strong calling of my own conscience, and my conscience calls me to God.
So trust me, this is the beginning of the end of Slippery Starmer, but there is going to be a huge amount of manoeuvring behind the scenes over the past few months. But the guy's broken. The guy's a joke. He's now a laughing stock. Here he was at PMQs.
Unbelievably, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's advisers have been reduced to briefing that MPs can't get rid of him, and I'm not making this up, they can't get rid of him because it would destabilise international markets. Why does the Prime Minister think that there would be a market meltdown if the Health Secretary took over?
Mr. Speaker, this is a united team and we are delivering together. Look what we're doing.
I mean, it's astonishing, by the way, that there is still no understanding amongst our political class of just how much trouble we are in. Because I don't see the funny side of this at all. The economy is being destroyed. Our culture is being destroyed. We are at threat because of the mass immigration. I mean, it truly, truly is nuts. And that's before you come to the Islamist threat. So to my superstar panel, Bernie Spofforth of If This Is True and Father Calvin Robinson of Fox and Father. Father Calvin, you know that I have been very public about the fact that I know Shabana Mahmood is on manoeuvres, okay? And it was really telling to me today that her name was sort of mentioned, but everyone was going for Wes Streeting because they want to keep her safe, Father Calvin. The Labour left want to keep her safe, keep her hands clean. So to make it look as if Wes Streeting is the guy who's going for Starmer, so he can be damaged and then she slips through. They want her as Prime Minister. Honestly, I am convinced. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixers on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. He says they hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some can even be harmful to your skin. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? Well, so that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He says it's almost like Photoshop for your face, and you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he says if it even helps one person look younger or feel more confident, he will be thrilled knowing he helped. The video has since gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing that Dr. Lake asks from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
So that's like when they let Patrick Christie sit in for you before Mark Dolan took the seat, I guess. I mean, it's a
Or the other way round, yeah. Mark Dolan sat in and then Patrick Christie's took the seat, but yes.
Sorry, yes. If we have a Mohammedan in the office of Prime Minister, the country's done, it's cooked. It's final, it's over. We have to do everything we can to avoid that. And if that's what the Labour Party are aiming at, then people need to start speaking up against this from the very beginning. And I don't really understand the infighting between Wes Streeting and Shabana Mahmood and all of them anyway. Like, the whole thing needs to be done. We need to have a general election. Let's let the British public decide, rather than the politicians on the front bench, who's going to run our country. And hopefully that will mean Labour would get kicked out of office. But who would get in is the problem.
But Bernie Spofforth, if you just look at this right from a straight electoral perspective, you can understand, can you not, even though I think it's terrifying and chilling, why those in Labour think that it makes sense. It's like, if you can't beat him, join him. I mean, you do know, Wes Streeting only won his seat by 500 votes. It was an Islamist who was in second place. Same with Jess Phillips. All of these people on the Labour left, including Angela Rayner, including Yvette Cooper, are at serious threat of losing their seats to Islamists. So you make an Islamist your party leader, that for them equals survival. So even though I think it's insane, can you understand why a lot of them are advocating for this from an electoral perspective?
Yeah, I can't only understand it, but I agree with your analysis completely. It makes total sense. And why would you put Wes Streeting in the position of leader when he's going to be wiped out? Now, the only good news here is that Labour will be absolutely decimated at the next election. So all of this school-type politics cannot cover, and all this traitors bullshit. Why would you play around when our country is close to having to go to the IMF for a bailout?
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not
There's
a game.
Nothing funny about anything that's happening. There's nobody in the cabinet with any private experience whatsoever. But to get back to this underhand kind of Islamic takeover that you're talking about, I think what is quite interesting is that Labour have been instrumental in underpinning all this for many years. So the Race Relations Act in 2000 expanded the 1976 Act to force a statutory duty on all public bodies to promote race, cultural equality. There was nothing to say that anybody had to integrate with us. So it created strong incentives for institutions to manage identity in a parallel life type of way. That's why there has been no integration, and why it's now perfect to try and fight off, like you say, the Greens and the Independents by building this parallel lives within Labour. My point to all of this, and there have been lots of acts that have taken place over the last 20 years to implement this parallel lives type system, is that it doesn't matter, Dan. They are wiped out. I cannot see any member of the cabinet surviving at all, including her.
100%. But you know they're going to try. That is the key thing. They're going to try. And what will probably happen closer to the next election, Bernie, is some of them will end up defecting to the Greens, to the Islamist party led by Jeremy Corbyn. By the way, I've got to speak about this guy, Dr. Amir Khan, as well. So he is the new GP on ITV, Woke ITV's Lorraine show. And yesterday, he did this ludicrous interview with Slippery Starmer where he said, as a brown person, I've never felt more unsafe in the United Kingdom today. Allowing Starmer to talk about how we've gone back decades and we're racist and all of that. This dude then appeared on the Newsnight sofa last night and ended up being exposed. And I want to show you how. But first, let me just introduce the argument that he made in this conversation with Victoria Derbyshire on the BBC Watch.
What I think politicians have done, or politics has done, is rather than address those issues, they've turned that anger sideways towards immigrants, towards Muslims, towards Jewish people, to anyone who feels other.
Right.
And I think that's a deliberate policy. I think that is something that has been manufactured to look away from a failing economy almost, and job issues and that kind of thing.
Interesting. Can I just ask you, Dr. Amit, has racism directed towards you got worse in recent times?
Yeah, so both, a lot of my family work in the NHS, and we've all felt it individually, felt it. I think, just to finish my point, if that's okay, this kind of deliberate manufacture of culture war to divide us is really important. And I think part of the story in all of this racism and divisiveness is Brexit, because originally that was a debate around sovereignty, but it became a lightning rod for anger. It became a lightning rod for people who felt left behind.
The hordes that they talked about, wanting to invade our country.
Well, yes. And then once that debate was over and the referendum happened, none of the underlying issues were solved. So the same politicians and politics who are saying this is what happened, they're now blaming other people.
Okay, so you know how awful this guy is, right? Clearly awful in every way. But he's then put on the spot because he makes these implications. Remember, he said that he has never felt so unsafe as a brown person in the United Kingdom. He makes all these implications that he is personally under threat. So he is asked quite directly, have you ever experienced any racism in your job in the NHS whatsoever? Watch what happens.
And where people are going to see brown people or black people is in the NHS. It's in public services. It is in driving them to work, driving their trains, all of those things.
And are you saying that people are saying to you and people you know who work in the NHS, I don't want you to treat me because you're, what, brown?
Brown, Muslim. I am a Muslim.
People
I'm a proud
are actually
Muslim
saying
man.
that to you.
They haven't said it to me, I've got to be honest.
Okay.
I do work in Bradford, but I have heard it from very, very close friends.
So Father Calvin Robinson, there you go. I've never felt so unsafe as a brown person. This is everywhere. All this implication. So has this happened to you? Oh, no. No. I've just heard it from others. He's a liar. I'm sorry, he's a liar.
And listen to the two sentences. So the first one, he said, me and my friends are feeling it, right? The racism is increasing, we're feeling it. And the second sentence, he says, I haven't experienced it. So he's not experiencing racism, he's feeling racism. That's internal, that's not external, that's not from other people, that's from himself. He is the issue here. And actually, I find it very interesting when he said, no, I haven't experienced it, I'm in Bradford. That's a good point too. Bradford is too brown. Bradford is too Mohammedan. Bradford is too Asian. It's still an English city. It should be predominantly English. And to say these things is racist at this point, but it's a fact of the matter. England is a predominantly white country full of predominantly English people, and every city and town should be that way. And I'm not saying there can't be minorities and that you can't have some multiculturalism, as in some people from other places and other cultures and other faiths, if you want, but it should still be predominantly English, predominantly white, predominantly Christian. Bradford is a case in point, that it is no longer that way. And if he feels safe to say that I am in Bradford so I don't experience it, how does he not feel safe in the country anymore? How can he say, as a brown person, I no longer feel safe? It's a lie. But if it is true, then leave. There are brown countries you can go and live in.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.